Hi everyone, thanks for watching my first video. I think the audio was really bad for the first one. I'll try to do a much better job going forward. So keep flowing your comments through. So much appreciated. So in this second video, I would just like to kind of go through a very short and simple video, but highlight a key strategy in chess, which is very important. So it's called the clearance strategy. So I've stopped at a particular position in this game. This is the game that was played between Perez and Lopez in 1995, and it's white to move. So what what I would like you guys to do is kind of pause this video and assess the situation of what's in store for white and how white can play and win the game. So as I was mentioning, so it's the strategy that's called clearance, and and maybe once you have calculated your moves, we can go over the moves in the game for white and see what's exactly in store. So the winning move for white is h5. Okay, let's go over it. So what are the two most logical, or what's the most logical continuation for black? So either to take the pawn on h5 from the g pawn, or he can capture the bishop from the knight. So those are obviously looking the two most logical continuations for black. Let's take a look at what this h5 is doing. h5 is actually clearing the way for the bishop to occupy this key square on h4, because it later becomes it's kind of attacking the f6 square as well. So it's very key that black really has this calculated, but this is actually winning for white. h5 is actually winning for white. So let's take a look at what happens if the knight captures the bishop. So if knight takes bishop, we have rook h7 check, and after king g8 we have this rook check, and after king f8, which is forced, you have this killer move, which is h6. The key is this rook is now defended by the pawn, and there's no way that black can prevent the checkmate on h8. So that's why capturing the bishop from the knight actually loses immediately, and it's mate. I mean, it's just something like rook d8, and you have this checkmate. There's no way you can prevent the checkmate. Let's go back to the position. So after h5, g takes h5 is indeed forced. That is the only move for black. So now we're talking about the clearance strategy. White occupies this key position on h4, bishop to h4. So let's again take a look at this position now. What are the two most logical continuations for black? So black can obviously push this pawn to e2, threatening to queen on e1, or he can actually defend this pawn that is attacked by the bishop on f6. Well, if you'd like to defend it with rook f8, it's a big time blunder with rook h7, king g8, and rook bg7. That's checkmate. So let's go back. After e2, after pawn moves to e2, you have this wonderful combination from white where he captures the pawn on f6, bishop takes f6, and e1 is equal to queen. Look at this checkmate. The rook defends the check and gives a checkmate with the bishop. Isn't that awesome? So this is the clearance strategy. So what you'll see from this game, or the summary of, or the key takeaways from this game, is it's absolutely essential that you calculate each and every move that happens, and it's fine if you sacrifice a pawn along the way, but make sure you place your positions at key positions and clear the moves for it, and clear. Thanks for watching. Comments and questions on YouTube, please. Bye bye.